Sesame Street taking on the opioid crisis. The iconic children's show revealing a new character who lives in foster care while her mother battles addiction.
My mom needs help learning to take better care of herself, so she talks to people with the same problem.
Interesting stuff. Should we be forcing this kind of a conversation on the little kids in our society, though? Here to debate that, liberal analyst Cathy Areu and author Cathy Barnette. Guys, thanks so much for coming on this morning. Cathy Areu, we're going to start with you. What's your position on this? A lot of people have opinions on this.
Yeah, a lot of people do have opinions on this, but Sesame Street started, it's 50 years ago, and they started with the idea that they were going to show children real life, and they have set the trend for real life. They've introduced HIV, homelessness, hunger, poverty, so many different issues. So for them to be on the cutting edge of something like addiction right now with children is not unusual. So this is normal for Sesame Street to be doing something like this. This is real life. Children are tackling these things at home.
Okay, Cathy Barnette, your response, and obviously it is a big problem. Opioid addiction is a huge problem in this country, and it does affect kids.
It does, but when you take into consideration that Sesame Street's target audience is between the ages of 2 and 5 years old, maybe this is a little too much reality. And for those kids who are contending with parents who are battling an addiction, perhaps it would be nice if Sesame Street was a safe place for them to go instead of having to deal with that. But I earnestly believe that we should allow children to be children. Just let them play and have fun. This is not something impressionable little minds should be burdened with. We're so focused in this country of growing our children up like little mushrooms popping up everywhere. They bypass childhood, go straight into adulthood, and we're not allowing them to just have fun and play and not become these little worry warts. And that's exactly what our culture is doing. We're churning out little Greta Thunbergs with these anxiety-ridden children instead of allowing them to just play.
Does it change? Sticking with you for just 1 second, does it change anything that it's only online, that they're not just going to blast this right in your kid's face on PBS? You're going to have to seek it out on the internet.
But we also know that the online presence is a growing market.
Yeah.
And once again, yes, addiction is a very real issue. But I think I'm the parent. So
yeah.
Sesame Street should take notice to the fact that you entertain my children with your little puppets, and you allow me to parent my children and figure out when it is an age-appropriate time to talk to them.
Cathy Areu, you know, respond to that for a second, because, I mean, there are a lot of parents, a lot of kids out there that don't have this problem, that maybe don't need to see this.
But there are a lot of kids out there who have friends who have these problems. They're not getting anxiety from watching a show. They're getting anxiety from life in general. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was visiting a classroom. I'm a certified teacher, and I'm able to go in and out of public schools. And a child, when she was asked if her father was going to visit the classroom on Dad's Day at school, she said, "My daddy's in jail."
But even if we take,
Sesame Street, I'm sorry, Cathy, Sesame Street has addressed parents in jail.
But even if we take Sesame Street at their own word, even if we take Sesame Street at their own word, they said 6 million kids age 11 and under are dealing with a parent who's struggling with addiction. If you take 6 million kids divided by the 48 million kids in America who are age 11 and under, that's just 13% of the population.
Yeah.
That means 87% of the kids aren't dealing with these kind of issues. So why is Sesame Street
not directly dealing with it? Ladies, we're going to have to cut it there because the show is getting a little tight. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. It's an interesting debate. It's an interesting story.